Great news. There's a quick way you can save money. Switch to Geico. Geico could help you get great coverage at a great price. And it only takes 15 minutes to see if you could save 15% or more on car insurance. Go to geico.com today and see how much you could save.
Don Le Batard. Stugotz. This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
We are going to join the Marty Party straight from the SEC championship game that will be played tonight.
That seems like such a scam and one I want to start running here in the United States. I'm a professional baby namer.
No, the scam to run. No, wait a minute. That's a good scam. Guillermo, put this on the poll. What's a better scam, being paid for being a professional baby namer or Big Baller Brand? Because I love this Big Baller Brand business plan of send us $500, we'll say you're a big baller. Don't send us $500, we'll say you're a small baller.
And your shoes will get there when they get there.
Never mind the shoes. It's basically you're paying $500 so you get LeVar Ball's endorsement that you are a big baller. Anything short of you pleasing LeVar Ball gets you called a small baller. Send him money. That's his whole business plan. Marty Smith joins us now from the SEC championship game. Marty, what is the mood there as we celebrate the regional championship of that particular region?
What do you say, boys?
Hey, wait a minute. Are you on a SkyTrain? What? Where are you? What are you doing? Why are you on a metro rail of some sort?
I'm on something called Skyview Atlanta. It's this monstrous, super state-of-the-art Ferris wheel. And I hate heights, really, really bad, and I have this sort of
you look scared.
Phobia about Ferris wheels.
Yep.
And Wiley has put me on this Ferris wheel.
Marty, I've never seen you look scared. You look scared.
I didn't know I was doing a Ferris wheel until 5 minutes ago. I get here, and he's like, hey, we're getting on the Ferris wheel. So I have trained my gaze off in the distance.
You were sweating. You look terrified.
I've never seen you sweat, Marty.
Up. Yeah.
Right. Marty, can we get you to throw up on air?
Thwart regurgitating the kind bar I just consumed on my drive over here. Now, about that SEC championship, I'm expecting an awesome game. I am so happy that it's the national championship. Finally, we're actually going to play some football and stop talking about it, boys.
Marty,
hallelujah.
Marty, you're
Praise
joining
Jesus.
us from a Ferris wheel. What do you, I mean, Marty.
That's what Marty does.
We're going to finally
party.
stop talking about football. Marty, I want to ask you a couple of questions.
Am I sweating for real?
Yeah, you look
sweating.
terrified.
Yeah.
You look pale. You look pale.
Well, listen, I am also.
I am pale and terrified and nervous.
But I'm telling you, Marty.
Anxiety right now, fellas.
I know, but I'm terrified of heights as well. And I'm telling you, when I've been on a Ferris wheel, the problem is that it stops. And you're just sitting there, and you're looking,
We're
and you're
stopped
looking.
right now, Stu.
And that's when I would start sweating and getting nauseous.
Well, is it possible? How do we get you to throw up on television, Marty? Because I know that you are a person who only cares about the making of good television. Otherwise, why the hell would you be on a Ferris wheel covering the SEC regional championship game? Like the whole idea that you would follow your producer. Think about what you're doing with your career. You've decided that the best place to do journalism is from a Ferris wheel.
I did not follow him. I didn't know last night that I was getting on a Ferris wheel. This was tactical. This was strategic on his part to put me over Atlanta with the aquarium over here to the left. Mercedes Stadium behind me. Centennial Park below me. 15 stories.
Marty, why are you on a Ferris wheel? There's a championship game, regional.
I don't know why I'm on a damn Ferris wheel. I have no idea.
What reporting are you doing from the Ferris wheel?
I'm getting color back, aren't I? The color is coming back.
Yes, you look a little pinker now.
Yes. Yeah.
Marty, how do we get you maximum afraid so you throw up in that trolley? Open the door.
Man. I got to do something.
Wiley, open the door. Wiley, open the door to the tram.
I'm guessing he can't. What's going on here?
Wiley, can you shake the
just
tram?
Show that huge row of Porta-Johns over there.
Right. Wiley, can you shake the Ferris wheel by just
on television, CD.
Just rock back and forth or jump up and down, Wiley. Just rock back and forth.
Yeah.
This is the part that gets me.
What's the part that gets you? What are you talking about?
It's starting to speed up a little bit.
What's the part that gets you?
Seeing the iron and the steel go by in the panorama. There's a Waffle House out here, of course.
Is Andy Reid there?
There's a Waffle House on every corner.
All right, give us play-by-play from the Ferris wheel. Go ahead, Marty.
Hold on.
All right. Yes,
hold
I'm
on.
sorry to interrupt.
Jonathan and I have...
We're sweating so
We
much.
have stood at the top of bell towers in Iceland. We've gotten in a helicopter and done a live shot in Iceland.
You were
I've
scared.
gotten on a Vespa in Rome, Italy. Almost killed some old blue hairs in the roundabout. And this is the scariest thing. Like, you're right, Stu. It's something about when they stop it, when it's moving, it's not nearly as bad. But when it's stopped, it's awful because it's the way that these things are engineered. They still sway even though you're not moving.
Yep.
That's right.
It's miserable.
All right.
You've never looked worse.
Man. Jonathan's trying to...
Yeah, he's trying to move the Ferris wheel.
God.
You look pale. You look
I got
haunted.
on my nicest suit.
Uh-huh.
I've never been on your show dressed this nicely.
I know. Marty,
and I got no color in my face.
Marty, I need a pressing answer to my question, Marty, as you go back up.
Okay, I'm ready.
Why are you on a Ferris wheel? I feel like you're like, why? If you're so afraid of this, what are you doing?
This to me on purpose. I have infuriated him at some point in the last week.
What does this have to do with coverage of the regional championship game? What were the rejected options? Can I talk to Wiley?
What
were the other options?
Damn thing.
Where's Wiley?
I don't know. I mean, probably to stand on the $1 million AstroTurf in there.
All right. Well, give us a minute of football analysis.
$1.5 billion.
Give us
$1.5 billion.
Give us 1 minute of football analysis, please, from the Ferris wheel.
1 minute of football analysis. Okay. Well, Coach Saban has said that his biggest concern entering the game tonight is, will they be fundamentally sound? Will they eliminate the mental errors and the turnovers that could thwart victory late?
Marty, is your voice trembling because you're afraid? Marty, is your voice trembling because the Ferris wheel is...
I feel you, man.
Yes. Yeah. Look, see? Here's that iron again. I can't look at this thing go by right here.
Oh, it's the worst, yes. Because it shakes a little when you go through that. It's
what do we need to do to get Marty to throw up right now? What do we need to do? What can we do to that?
Danny, I am seriously... Like, I've said many times that I have 3 children. I've said that on your show many times. I've watched Little Lamaze. I've been with Lady in those birthing classes that you take before you have your kids. I know how the Lamaze. I'm doing that, trying not to lose that kind bar that I ate on the way here.
Okay, but what are some things that you think are disgusting that I could talk about now and create the visual imagery that would get you to throw up on that Ferris wheel, which is our only goal at this point? What are some things?
I don't know, man. I've seen some pretty nasty things and never lost my lunch.
You
Quit it! All these guys in here are rocking the
Bills-Jags. That Bills-Jags game yesterday. The Bills-Jags game yesterday.
Just think about it. Just think about Nathan Peterman.
Think about it. Think about Nathan Peterman. Think about it. No, that's not going to work. Mike.
Poor Nathan.
Yeah.
Poor Nathan.
Nathan ran for that first down.
Oh,
he
so
looked
much
like
hope.
a hero, and he had on that new state-of-the-art helmet that looks like Spaceballs.
That's right.
You know?
That's right. To
Got
avoid
that big
concussion.
old round helmet on.
Yeah, Tyrod should have been wearing that one.
Oh, wow. How's he doing? What's the update on him? I guess we don't need to get into that right now.
You're on a Ferris wheel, man.
How is Tyrod Taylor's head doing? Is that the question you just asked us? All right, 30 more seconds.
Listen. This is not a normal Ferris wheel either. Like, this is 15 or 20 stories above Atlanta. Hold on, I got to breathe a minute. Here comes that steel again.
He's sweating, man.
He is sweating like crazy. He's pale.
I know what he's talking about with this steel, Dan. You know what he's saying? It's like being on a ski lift.
Have you seen Two Girls, One Cup?
What?
Don Batard.
Lemmy from Motorhead with us. What's going on with you these days?
Not much, you know. We just finished the European tour, and we're going out in America, and then we're going out in Europe again.
Stugotz.
And what are those crowds like?
Clouds.
This is the Don Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
That's another one I've forgotten. That's another one that we got accused of killing. Lemmy from Motorhead.
That's right, yeah. If you missed any of the show, you can listen to all 3 hours of the Dan Le Batard Show on demand in the ESPN app, plus our Miami Only hour that airs before the show, and now you can subscribe to our Best of podcast. It's all available in the Listen tab of the ESPN app. Starting off the year with a little romance is easy at 1-800-Flowers.com. Right now, when you order a dozen multicolored roses for just $29.99, you'll get another dozen absolutely free. Simple to order. Take advantage, guys. A great deal. Go to 1-800-Flowers.com/ESPN.
We were having a lot of fun earlier in the show talking about the idea of when we look back at football in 50 years, we're going to very much be like, what the hell were we doing? That games are being decided by catches that look like catches but aren't catches when you go to further review and you see that a guy reaching toward the goal line is now something you don't want because the ball might be dislodged and you'll have a touchback and you don't really understand what you're watching, but there are guys measuring with chains on the sidelines and then some referee just raises up his arm and when the punt goes out of bounds, arbitrarily measures all of this stuff. But there is one other place where we're going to be like, wait a minute, how did we not have a better grip on this? Think about this that happened yesterday. Buffalo's season ended, at least in part, because the quarterback that they've used all season, their best quarterback, his head got hit so hard against the turf that guys were praying for him, kneeling. He looked like he wasn't moving at all, and everyone on the field was scared on both teams. There was 1 minute left in Buffalo's season. That's when their quarterback went down. The guy they brought in is wearing a space-age helmet because the last time he was playing on a field, his head hit the floor so hard that he was sent loopy in a way that damaged his brain. All the while, in New Orleans, the biggest specimen who plays the position in the sport is going in and out of a concussion tent in a way that feels flimsy to everybody because we all realize they were going to get him on the field no matter what. This coming after Seattle was trying to save its season a couple of weeks ago, and Russell Wilson was going out of the concussion tent in a way that was laughable because they just needed to get the important guy back on the field.
What happened yesterday in that Carolina game was gross. And to me, the NFL has no interest in trying to clean this up or clear it up. Because, Dan, I'm telling you, after Tom Savage was twitching in the end zone, Dan, what they...
It's not that they don't care. It's that nothing comes ahead of winning.
Right.
It's that health, they can tell you that health is the priority, but nothing gets in the way of the importance of all of these powerful people trying to save their jobs because they really need to win this game.
Okay, well, in the case of Rivera, he's not trying to save his job. And in fairness to the NFL, sometimes it is on the player. Cam Newton wanted nothing to do with going to the locker room. But, Dan, he fell in a way where I was concerned for him walking off the field, and they chalked it up with some eye issues and something with his visor. And what they did, the thing they put in place since Savage was twitching in the end zone because he was hit so hard was, hey, if there's something like that where you're twitching or you lose your balance or you fall to the ground, you have to go into the locker room. It would have taken he would have missed maybe, 10 minutes of the game. Cam Newton should have went to the locker room.
No, but those 10 minutes, Stugotz, those take priority to health. They could say whatever they want about health being the priority. But when it gets murky, when you're dealing with gray areas like you can with concussion protocols, when there are degrees of concussions where if we actually measured every play for a concussion, my guess is that we can do that.
Right.
Every single play, not just the quarterback, everyone on the field.
Right, but I'm not asking for that. I'm saying when a guy is walking to the sideline and can't keep his balance and falls to the ground in a way where everyone's concerned.
I know.
He should miss more than a play, maybe.
I know, but we're trying to determine how to do these things in real time. And we've gone from a total culture shift. Stugotz, these things can't happen quickly. We've already gotten to the point where when you see a nasty hit on a football field, most of us are saying, that's not legal, that's not allowed. We've already gotten to the point that we've had such a climate shift that most people watching say, that guy needs to be out for the rest of the game because he just did damage to his brain. That is a seismic culture shift. But the last people who are going to actually abide by it are these loons who do this for a living, and all of them want to get back on the field.
Right.
Russell Wilson and Cam want to get back on the field.
Fair.
Ron Rivera wants to get him back on the field. The team doctors want to get everybody back on the field because the season's on the line. We're playing the Saints. It's important. Cam can't be out right now. Tyrod Taylor goes down, let's go get the other guy with a concussion to come save our season because it's really important that we save our season.
But how do I navigate this as a fan? Because selfishly, of course, I wanted Cam in there. I wanted to see if he could pull off the upset on the road, take his team down and score. But I also wanted him to go seek some help. Like, it was a weird
You have
feeling.
arrived at where this sport has arrived in terms of the moral conundrum that I've been talking about around here for 4 or 5 years. And you guys tell me there is no moral conundrum. I like Sundays. But I'm just telling you that 50 years from now, we're going to look back and be like, wait a minute, the game was so violent that Cam Newton couldn't even play it healthy? He's bigger than everyone out there. Like, he's the one you got to fear. We've gotten to a point. I think we've gotten to a point where the game is so unhealthy that the quarterbacks aren't built, not even Carson Wentz. The quarterbacks are not built strongly enough to withstand it.
Well, he's the strongest, and you're right.
I mean, if Cam Newton cannot cause injury instead of suffer it from a position where all the rules are to protect Cam Newton. Every single damn rule in the game is you could slide whenever you want. Be careful. We're not going to hit you late. If they go low on you, it's problematic. If they go high on you, it's problematic. They can only hit you in the navel. That's the only place they're allowed to hit Cam Newton, in his six-pack. And still, he can't keep his head healthy, and we're having a controversy the next day about how to handle this stuff.
Did you hear his post-game press conference where he sounded a bit concussed?
Yes.
Where he was trying to say that he was poked in the eye, and then he sort of gathered at the end of that lie, it would appear, that he realized he wears a visor.
You know what we should have done?
Well, the visor, that's what it was, right? Like, the visor was set out of place, and it hit him in the eye or something like that.
Guys, that press conference could have been performance art, because you reporters could have asked him. A woman could have talked about routes. Somebody could have asked him a Jerry Richardson question. Like, he was out of his mind at the press conference. You could have gotten anything you wanted out of Cam Newton.
He handles them poorly.
I know, but you could have said, Cam, did you see that alien on the field in the third quarter? And he would have been, like I avoided it. I had a 6-yard gain.
I know it was precautionary concussion protocol things that happened, but it wasn't my head. It was my eye. My helmet had came down low enough over my eyelid, and it got pressed by the player's stomach, I believe. So I thought maybe somebody had stuck their finger in my eye, but I got on the visor, so that couldn't happen.
That does not sound like Cam Newton. I know he lost, but...
Sounds like a giant whopper. Say it sounds like one. I'm not saying
he was also wearing sunglasses. I mean, I know this is not a stretch for Cam Newton, but he was wearing sunglasses.
Those are light things. Those are light. You don't want... You get terrible.
Cam's wearing them for light.
No, but you don't. Wait a minute. You don't think that Cam Newton's glasses were because when you have a concussion, you have light issues? You have to be careful around bright lights after you've had a concussion.
Or if you get poked in the eye.
Okay. Or if you get poked in the eye. Mm-hmm. Again, I want you to think about what I'm saying, though. You have to be careful around bright lights. These football players, they're often around bright lights. The stuff that they're doing for a living, you tell me, Stugotz, does it seem to you like the quarterback position is somehow less safe for your brain than it's ever been? It doesn't even make sense to me. They are changing all the rules. They can't keep Tyrod Taylor healthy. They can't keep Nathan Peterman healthy. They can't keep Carson Wentz healthy.
We had a quarterback twitching in the end zone.
They can't get They can't keep Aaron Rodgers healthy. The only one who stays healthy is Tom Brady, and it's because he has a doctor who's not a doctor.
Divisional round of the playoffs, Nick Foles and Case Keenum are playing quarterback.
That's right, because nobody's healthy. The Vikings couldn't keep Sam Bradford healthy. They couldn't keep Teddy Bridgewater healthy. Hell, we were talking about Teddy Bridgewater's going to lose a leg. Case, get out there. It's the apocalypse. Football is right now at the cusp of the apocalypse.
But Tom Brady still sitting around waiting to see what crap team he's going to play this weekend.
That's right.
Yep.
Who are you going to bring me? Alex Smith or Marcus Mariota?
Oh, we got Mariota.
We got Mariota, and I can't name another Titan. Am I right about this, that the Titans are just a generic football team? They're generic player on the video game. Yes. They're just a bunch of generic players. Guillermo, put this on the poll. Name 3 Titans, I dare you.
Don Le Batard.
Guillermo, put it on the poll. Are you disturbed at all that Stugotz thinks extortion and blackmail are normal business practices?
Stugotz.
It has to drive you crazy because you are smart, you are well thought out, you are reasonable, you are balanced, and I just come in with blackmail, COB.
And they love you more.
Yep, spot on.
And I'm so envious. I want their love.
You're not going to get it.
Their love's important to me. I want the love of dumb people.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. We are up to number 51. Chris Sims is going to join us in just a minute here to reveal to all of us his 51st best quarterback in the NFL.
Guillermo,
what are you laughing at?
Guillermo's a weird eater, and so he just pulled out his lunch, which is a bunch of baby sausages from baby food.
Yeah.
But he's also wearing the Freddy Krueger mask without a hat, so he is jamming these baby sausages into where his teeth used to be on this mask before he took the teeth out of the mask, which strikes me as an illegality that should make him wear this again tomorrow because he's cheating.
Right.
He is now stuffing baby food into his face. And again, I will say to you again that Freddy Krueger without a hat looks like a diseased Scott Van Pelt, a very, very sick Scott Van Pelt, somebody who's got bubonic plague or leprosy. And so that's what we're looking at right now.
Why does Billy eat those things, man? Like, if that was a grid of death punishment, I would avoid it forever.
It looks, the baby food sausages look awful. It's one of the weirdest things that happens around here.
Anyway, Chris Sims going to join us on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Here's your SportsCenter update. Andy Murray says he underwent right hip surgery Monday and hopes to be back in time for Wimbledon. Titans coach Mike Mularkey has been given the vote of confidence going into the 2018 season. And finally, jellyfish and lobsters are biologically immortal. They don't age and will never die unless they are killed. Huh. Did you know that?
I'm not listening to you. I'm just watching these sausages. They die a quick death in the mouth of Freddy Krueger.
Do you know jellyfish and lobsters, they'll never die?
I did not know that.
How about that? Unless they're killed. When would you prefer to spot that criminal, before or after he gets in your home? Blink Motion activated security cams alert you the instant they detect someone casing your home. Get 3 Blink cams, what the other guys charge for 1, plus 10% off right now at blinkprotect.com/Dan. That's blinkprotect.com/Dan. For all the latest headlines and information, tune in the SportsCenter on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
Mike, real quick, give everyone all the information they need because we're doing 2 radio shows today. We're doing a commercial-free radio show from 8 o'clock till whenever the national or the regional championship between Alabama and Georgia is decided. So, Mike, give people all the information on where they can find us watching the game tonight.
We're part of ESPNU's Voices Megacast. We're having our own studio be a part of it. There are 4 other ones around the nation, and ESPNU will switch back and forth to whichever ones are most entertaining. However, if you want to stick with our feed the entire time, that option will also be made available to you via ESPN3. And also, we're thinking we're going to roll on the whole thing and put it up as a special podcast for those who just actually want to watch the game broadcast and not deal with our nonsense.
Okay, very good. So that's the plan. Chris Sims joins us now. And I got to tell you, I've been making fun of this since it started because it's absurd and we like to spoof sports radio. But Chris Sims is so right about this, and it took yesterday's game for me to see it clearly. What he's been saying about Blake Bortles and their remedial offense in Jacksonville, where they're not asking him to do anything other than run in a panic out of the pocket. It's ridiculous. They are playing a high school offense. And so I didn't realize it until yesterday that when I'm seeing Blake Bortles just run in a panic out of the pocket, and that's how they won a playoff game.
Right.
The Jacksonville Jags won a playoff game with Blake Bortles just running for his life scared because he didn't know what to do.
But can Brock Osweiler do that?
Probably not.
Drop the ball, pick up his own ball, and then scoot for 11 yards, huh?
So anyways, Chris Sims is with us now, Bleacher Report, and we are number 51. He says Blake Bortles is the 70th best quarterback in the world, and he's right. And he's never been more right than he was yesterday.
He's one of the final 8 quarterbacks
I don't
left.
care. He's terrible. I saw him yesterday. He's ruining everything in Jacksonville. That team should be undefeated. It's only not undefeated because Blake Bortles stinks.
He's saying yes.
No, he's so right. I've never seen him be more right. Like Chris Sims is so right about this. Chris, it is offensive to me watching him play that position on behalf of all who have come before him, including you.
Well, hey, I mean, that was my point. And again, I don't feel better about myself as a human saying this about Blake Bortles on a daily basis, but the point was that this is the best team in football. And yes, the one thing that's hindering them is the quarterback position. And I don't care, Stugotz, I know you're right. Like, yeah, he's in the final 8. But, my whole life people have been telling me this is the ultimate team sport. And then we love to put it on one player for the success or the failures of the team a lot of the times. And I'm just saying, with this specific scenario, as you saw yesterday, the failure of the Jacksonville Jaguars is, yes, Blake Bortles can't hit what we would call consistent completion throws in the NFL.
Easy ones, Chris. Easy ones.
Right. Yes, very easy one. So again, I don't feel better about myself as a human, but I'm a truthful person. I work at this hard. I study it hard. And when I made the comment, I meant it. Had my heart behind it.
Where's the line with the quarterback? Like, if they're the best team in the NFL despite their quarterback, let's just say they're the most talented team, Chris. If I put Alex Smith on the
Super Bowl.
Well, I'm with him, Stugotz. Yeah. Having watched what I watched yesterday, wow. I am with him on the idea that is the best team in football, and the only thing that will keep them from being crowned the best team in football is that they have to have a high school offense for that quarterback.
Yes, it really, and people are so we're in this weird age of we look at the bottom line and go, well, look, his stats weren't that bad. I knew he threw it bad, but he ran it good. But the point is, I promise you, when I watch my film, a lot like other weeks, it's not about your bottom line stats. It's what was there to be had. And you saw in some of the replays yesterday, even when he ran, there was people wide open down the field. He didn't want to throw it because he was having a day where he had no idea where the ball was going to go once it left his hands.
It's just
so
not
he said,
that.
"The hell
Chris,
with it, I'll run."
Chris,
right.
It's not just that. He should have lost the game with his interceptions.
Yes.
Blake Bortles deserved to have his season ended yesterday, and Buffalo just didn't catch balls that he was throwing poorly. Anyway.
But hold on, Chris, make it Kirk Cousins. Super Bowl?
Yes, Super Bowl.
Super Bowl, yes. And I would think they're going to be the number one team after Kirk Cousins once free agency hits.
Which part are you not understanding about this? You got Eli Manning, Super Bowl.
Oh, I don't know. Eli Manning, Chris?
Yes, because see what's happened too.
Well, you're saying just about anyone if you're saying Eli Manning.
Yes, that's what he's saying.
I mean, I know, and I don't think much of Eli Manning. He's not one of the 32 best quarterbacks in football. So I'm saying that. But again,
which part of this are you not getting? He's got Matt Schaub winning the Super Bowl. He's got Brian Hoyer being better. Being better.
No. I get what he's doing. I'm disagreeing with what it is that he's saying. I know you're
disagreeing, but I'm saying if you're going to disagree with Eli Manning, why aren't you disagreeing with the idea that he's got Tom Savage at 54 being better?
They're winning games with, special teams, defensive touchdowns, defenses playing them and going, we're not even worried about the pass game. We're just going to stop Leonard Fournette in the run game.
That's the other thing, Chris. I was getting mad on behalf of Leonard Fournette. If I were Leonard Fournette, I would stop a play and punch Blake Bortles in the head.
His career is going to be 4 years shorter because of what he's having to do right now.
That's right. Blake Bortles is affecting Fournette's future earnings of him and his family because he's so terrible, and there are 27 people in the box.
I hope he wins the Super Bowl.
Exactly right. I hope he wins the Super Bowl, too, because it'll at least prove the point that it's not always about the quarterback. It's a team sport.
So do I. I hope that he wins the Super Bowl as well. Number 51, Chris Sims, the 51st best quarterback in the world, according to Chris Sims, is?
I did not mean to do this. I have my list made. This is amazing. Number 51, Chad Henne, Jacksonville Jaguars.
Wait, he's got their backup quarterback 19 spots ahead of their actual quarterback.
They win the Super Bowl
and
with a
he's totally right.
Don Batard.
I feel terrible.
Here's the thing with you. You don't actually feel terrible.
I didn't feel a thing, to be honest with you. I don't really care.
I know. You announcing I feel terrible is just your way to move on to the next terrible thing you're going to do.
Stugotz.
They're just words, and words mean nothing to you.
They don't mean nothing. His words mean nothing.
Words are just transitions to your next lie.
That's so right. They're not words. They are bridges to lies.
This is the Don Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
I'm very bad at impersonations. But let's see if you could pick up who I am doing right now. Are you ready? I want you to imagine somebody just reading a computer, and for some reason that person has decided to argue with the screen in front of them. Bryles. This guy is going to make a speech because he wants to help these, the students and this professor who's done so much for so many. This guy allowed women to be raped on campus, and now he wants back in the game. This guy.
Well, he wants to give back to the profession that has given so much to so many.
He wants to give back. He wants to give back to the profession.
Sounds like Stugotz might have a guess.
I feel like Stugotz has ruined the impersonation by getting in there and figuring it out before the rest of you. Or does Stugotz not realize that I was doing a Stugotz impersonation and perhaps was just agreeing with the impersonation I was doing?
We were going to say Bob Lee.
In my defense, it's a dangerous topic, and Dan was giving out false information. I was just making sure he had it correct. That's all.
All right.
That's all. Don't tiptoe around.
Regardless, under your breath mutter, the way that I enjoyed the break, I actually heard the phrase, this guy allowing rapes on campus once back in the game. It was, again, this was all private conversation. Stugotz wasn't saying any of this on air. He was not being reckless. He was not coming after anybody. I didn't even say it was Stugotz necessarily. I just said I was doing an impersonation of somebody who was arguing with their computer.
Who's the genius at AFCA, by the way, who decided to be a good idea to have Art Briles speak at the
I think they're just going to keep bringing Art Briles around the electric. I think they're going to keep bringing Art Briles around the electrical fences, and every time one gets shocked, they're like, "Oh, it's a canceled appearance." But one time, it's not going to get canceled. Like one time, it's going to be like, "Is it okay to let Briles in now?" All right, time has passed. Now it's okay to do all the despicable things that Baylor did. But he's tried a couple times. He went sniffing around the CFL, and they're like, we'll hire Art Briles. Oh, no, we won't. That's how it happens. Like
That's how quickly it happens.
That's right. Everybody's getting near the electrical fences. Like, wait a minute. How about us in Canada? Our brand of football is a little different. Our rules are different. We're friendlier. We will hire Art Briles. Oh, no, we won't.
They're about to sign Johnny Manziel.
Oh, my God. That's right. Johnny Manziel's fine. But I feel like that's how leadership in these administrations does it. Let's hire Art Briles. Oops. Let's have Art Briles speak on our campus.
It's like the Jaguars. We're thinking about signing Colin Kaepernick. Nope.
Yep, that's it. No, it's like that. It's the Ravens. We're thinking about signing Colin Kaepernick. Pray for us. What? We're thinking about hiring Art Briles. Pray for us.
Is that the most ill-placed pray for us in the history of praying for us?
Well, no, second. Behind Muhammad Ali, I'll eat his children. Praise be to Allah.
That's Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson, my bad.
That's a fun.
Mother.
That's a pretty big one.
That is a bad one.
I know, that's my bad.
Pray for us.
It was such a good reference, too, and I blew it by saying it was Muhammad Ali instead of Tyson.
They're still trying to figure out if it's okay to hire Briles' son, Kendall, because Lane did that because Lane don't care. But Major Applewhite hired Kendall for the University of Houston, and that's getting all sorts of backlash.
Well, but can you imagine these meetings? You can't hire even a Briles family member, anyone who's been – it's like the opposite of Belichick. You hire anyone who's stood next to Belichick. You can't hire anyone who's been near Briles. But here are some of the campus conversations. Are you ready? Well, we could use some help with the read option. Yeah, but how about the rapes on campus? You want newspaper headlines about rapes on campus? You know what? I'll get someone else to help us with the read option who doesn't come with rapes on campus. All things being equal, that's a real loser for Art Briles in the interview process. Yes. Like all the other candidates, he's there, but wait, I could do the read option better than anyone. Yes, but all these other candidates don't have rapes all over their campus.
Yeah, which he left off his resume.
Right, right. He left that out. You got to leave that one out. You got to ask, when they check the references on that, how much is that? Canada, the CFL was calling the references, and they're like, he did what? That wasn't on the resume. We're in Canada. We weren't paying attention to Baylor football. You know when we've done a good show, Mike? Stugotz was reading the polls during the break and laughing to himself.
Does he list Satan as a reference?
Yeah, my big boss. Who you work for? He puts it on his W-2 forms. Employer. Beelzebub.
Satan's mortified to learn about
Lucifer. Give him a call. That's right. Let's go ahead and update the polls. I know we've done a good show when Stugotz is merely laughing at the poll questions like he was doing all break. Go ahead and do it.
At Batard Show on Twitter is ESPNU Periscope.
We're going to be on Periscope ESPNU tonight with our megacast.
65% of the audience said yes. Is it absurd to think our next president is going to be Oprah? 56% of the audience said no. Could anything topple the Oprah Rock ticket? 75% of the audience said no. Is the only thing getting in the way of The Rock becoming VP him needing to give up his baller's gig? 77% of the audience said yes. Is the stupidest thing in the history of sports the referee flying down the sideline, placing a punt where he thinks the ball went out of bounds?
It's so stupid, man. It's just unbelievably stupid.
83% of the audience said yes. Does Guillermo look like a very sick Scott Van Pelt? Very lopsided here. 92% of the audience said yes.
Leprosy. A leprosy addled Scott Van Pelt. Guillermo, nice move putting on the headset now. Now it looks like the Midnight Sports Center has gotten very sick. Very sick. Cancer eating at the pores of its face.
Is pencil pusher an outdated phrase? 70% of the audience said yes.
I'm embarrassed by that.
Would you accept $100 to wear a Freddy Krueger mask for 3 hours during your workday? Billy was offered that and said no. 83% of the audience said yes. Turn down $100.
Terrible
bucks,
decision
man.
by him.
Is there a
Hold on. Billy, I'll give you $50 to do it tomorrow. I'm cutting it in half. If you do it again tomorrow, I'll give you $50, but that is my final offer.
No.
All right. Oh, wow. Moron.
Is there a star on the Tennessee Titans? 65% of the audience said no. Is the Jaguars playbook Blake Bortles drops the ball, panics, slips in his own urine, and rushes for 3 yards? Lopsided. 93% of the audience said yes.
They need to win the Super Bowl that way, man. With that high school offense, Blake Bortles peeing his leg.
Is the code of coaches better and stronger than even the code of policemen? 70% of the audience said yes. Is Rick Carlisle a communist? 64% of the audience said yes. Who looks most like a referee? There was a tie here, guys.
Wait a minute. In all of acting, there's a tie. And all of
well, it's not just actors.
Just people who look like an NFL referee. What's the tie?
9% each to Scott Van Pelt and Paul Feinbaum.
You guys think they look like the most like NFL referees?
8% to Steve Harvey, 8% to Jim Caldwell.
Steve Harvey is so good. So is Jim Caldwell. Very good.
Final poll. Name 3 Titans. I dare you.
That doesn't sound like a poll. Megacast tonight, people. Watch us. ESPNU and ESPN3.
I'm a robot vacuum cleaner, so yeah, I got 1 gig. I suck up dirt. So pardon my inferiority complex about Geico, who does so much more. Like, not only could they save their customers money on car insurance, but they got fast and friendly claim service, too. And an award-winning mobile app. Plus access to licensed agents 24/7. Who am I kidding? I can't even do corners. Uh-oh, choking hazard.
Popcorn kernels.
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.